Is that a red stripe too?
What up, though?
Yeah.
This is Knockouts and 3 Counts. But before we bring you another episode of Podcast Gold, let me tell you about the homies over at Michigan's Finest. Do you ever find yourself trying to get yourself together and thinking, man, this is going to be a great night, but I'm looking for that little extra something? Well, check out our friends at Michigan Finest. If you are into medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, concentrates, vapes, anything of that sort, Michigan's Finest has got you covered. And as you can see here, it's all easily done by their website. It's all curbside, and you'll be in and out in 2 minutes. And they're family owned and operated, so customer service is their number one goal. And now, since they are rocking with Knockouts and 3 Counts, use the code KO3MF. Yes, that's KO3MF. You get 10% off your entire order, but that does exclude featured items and items that are already on sale. But if you use that code, you're getting 10% off your items, and I promise you, either if you're looking for that big knockout or you're ready to hit the sheets for that 3 count, Michigan's Finest will get you together. Tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you, and I promise you, you're going to be having a great night. Peace.
This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. We got a new world champion.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby. It's the real deal, baby.
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Woo! What up, no? It is another Tuesday. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts, and man, somebody made the mistake of giving my ass a live mic again, and I will be calling these fights for tonight's guest on November 12th. So bring your ass out to Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Check out Hype Athletics Center and check out Lights Out, because we're going to have some bangers on that card. So to talk about that card, you know, it's a good thing that our DMs are always open, because that helped things for tonight. We've got one half of our buddy Austin Bashi's next fight in Joe The Party Penafiel. I don't know if I said that right, but how you doing, brother, man? I appreciate the time.
No, I appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of a platform to push my narrative out there. But yeah, I'm having a great time over here in Florida. Just got done with the hurricanes. We're doing great. Everyone's shining. The sun's still out. It's November, and we're still like blowing 80 degrees out here. Hot as fuck. So training's been going well, and I'm ready to fight.
Yeah, we got lucky one of those rare nights of 75 plus out here. I was actually just out on the motorcycle myself, enjoying the weather while we still got it. So it's a rare breed this late in October to be still getting weather like this. But that's one thing I'm very jealous of you guys down in Florida, man. That weather's always kicking down here.
I know it's hot, bro. Sometimes you want fucking the heat to stop. It's November, bro. I mean, it's the end of October, and we're getting into November, and I still can't get like a. We had a cold day after the hurricane, a few windy days, I would call it. It was like really cool, but we're back at fucking, I don't know, 80 something degrees at least. It's all right though, I guess.
Yeah, were you guys affected at all by the hurricane, or was it kind of just
so? Central Florida usually doesn't get hit as much. I live in Orlando, so it's in the center, and we just got some flooding because there was a lot of wind and rain. So certain areas got flooded, or like maybe they were near a river or retention pond and shit like that, and that really affected them because of the area they lived in. But besides that, I think Orlando did well. I got my power back in 2 or 3 days, maybe 2 at the most. So I think everything went well as long as you were safe. I hope everyone's safe, obviously, in Florida and Orlando, and I feel for the people that got really hurt down there. And I think it's what's the place they got hurt? Fort Myers, okay. Florida. It's a beautiful fucking area. People retire and live there. Beautiful white sand, great seafood. And so it sucks to see a place like that beautiful get hurt, but it's part of the game when you're living down here in this fucking pirate state.
Right. Isn't it funny how every state's got like their you got your teeter-totter, right? So for you guys, you got to deal with hurricanes. For us, you could get all 3 seasons in one day. I don't know, man. We've got the most I'm just saying we've got the most bipolar weather out of any state that I've ever been in, because like I've never been anywhere else where it can be 80 one day and literally 40 the next. Like, just saying, that's kind of
Yeah.
that's Michigan for you.
My head coach is from Michigan. You know, I don't like to call him my head coach because we're close in age. He's an old fuck too, and I'm like, whatever. That's my dog. His name is Julian Williams.
Okay.
He's been able to put numerous guys in the UFC, and that guys that came from different places like American Top Team or Sanford or any of these other like powerhouse places down here in the South Florida area. But this guy made them from scratch. Guys that had losing records, guys like they really had to work their way and learn their craft. And this guy has a mind for it. We were trained under Paul Rodriguez, who has black belt from Ricardo Laborio down in American Top Team when Ricardo Laborio and Dan Lambert ran that and made it what it was for a long time until they had their, they went on their separate ways or whatever. And I was able to be coached by Laborio too for a long time for my first 2 fights. This is the same guy that's been in the corner for Masvidal, been in the corner for Yoel Romero, been in the corner for numerous UFC guys, probably Kobe back in the day because they hung out in the same group. But yeah, I'm just excited to get to Dearborn, Michigan, fuck shit up. This is Thunder versus Lightning, and you always hear Thunder, but Lightning strikes. I talk a lot of shit, but I feel like I feel like Bashi's gonna have to back a lot of this shit up. A lot of this stuff everyone's saying. I got a lot of little messages and stuff. So he better back it up. It's in front of his hometown crowd. I know he's watching this. You're in front of your hometown crowd, and you better be ready to back every minute up. I'm going to be there every minute for every round. I'm doing everything I can cardio-wise. My wrestling's always been on point, okay? Like, the only person my senior year I ended up losing to a lot was Franklin Gomez, which is a world silver medalist for Puerto Rico. Happy enough to have him and guys that I wrestled with growing up, like Brandon Hatchett, who placed second for Lehigh, only lost to David Taylor that year in the finals. I could keep going on, but I don't like to fucking. But I just want to know that level of wrestling that he's got, he's gonna meet the same type of shit. Michigan, Minnesota, respect your wrestling, tons. I wrestled against Paul Donahoe all the time when I was growing up at Fargo and shit. So if you know Paul Donahoe, he's a badass from Michigan.
Well, let me ask you about that. I mean,
I'm ready for war.
everybody's seen in the last few fights, like you mentioned, in Austin's last few fights, he's really kind of dominated people on the grounds and things like that. So with that being said, with both of you guys having a wrestling pedigree, like you say, how do you think things fare if, you guys kind of cancel each other out and you end up banging it out in the middle? Is that something you're down for?
This is the thing. I'm going to be down for whatever happens that night. I'm going to be creating chaos. He's going to think he's going to be able to hold me. He might get positions on me, but I will work and find my way out of any position, figure it out, be safe, and I will apply pressure when I need to, and I'll flow and crash. Just like Bruce Lee says, I'm going to be like water, my friend. This guy's going down. Everyone can hype him up. Like I said, I'm going to match his cardio, his pace, his heart and desire. I'm hungrier. Been through a lot more than this kid. This kid probably grew up, like you said, at the gym. That's great for him. I've had a lot of things happen to me in my past. So for me to keep this dream of mine of becoming a pro MMA fighter and getting to the top, it's been a lot of protecting against outside stuff. There's a lot of bad influences and everyday life trying to bring you down. You know what I mean? So Austin can say he wants it, but we'll see who wants it more that night. We'll see whose skills pays the bills. And it's just going to be like an old Western movie, There's a famous quote. One of my favorite fighters, Sonny Liston, used to say that.
Nice.
That fights are like a old Western, There's a good guy and there's a bad guy. But at the end, in this fucking movie, I'm going to win. The bad guy wins. It's not a normal. This isn't going to go the same route. Those guys that Austin fought before, like, I don't want to dismiss or disgrace or disrespect anyone. Check their records out. That's all I say. Check the guys I fought against. That's all I'm gonna say. Whoever wins that night, God be it. I know he's a God guy, but God loves me. I'm his favorite. So fuck all that bullshit.
I mean, you brought up already dealing with the hometown disadvantage, I guess you could say, in this matchup. Have you had to deal with that in the past?
Yeah, I'm an experienced fighter with 12 pro fights and 5, I think like 8
Yep.
amateur fights, and then I also have my friend Mary Jane that helps out a lot.
Looks like you'll have to check out our sponsors at Michigan Finest and use that promo code when you come to town.
Yeah, I believe in recovery, man, and I'll cut this out probably in a few days. Maybe the smoking from fire, I'll do vape, so I'll still be getting high and it'll be cleaner from my lungs, just getting ready for him. But no, like I said, I think the hometown thing is really crazy. He's gonna have to back everything up. He's gonna have the whole crowd on his side, all the oohs and ahs. It's gonna be it's gonna be an ebb and flow of a fight. I think it's gonna go up and down, and the people are gonna be screaming, and they're gonna be like, it's gonna be a lot of that shit. That's what I create. I'm a maniac out there, man, and it's gonna be fun. If I find my flow state, it's gonna be a long night, and that's
I like it, man. You sound confident. You sound ready to go. I mean, I like it because I'm going to be sitting cage side calling all the action. So if you guys are in the area, make sure you come out to the fight. But that brings up as good a question as any. With you coming, Corey brings up the point of fighting in other states. Like I said, I've done my research. I saw your fights in Cage Titans and a few other places like that. How do you feel? How do you feel getting to fight in so many different places, even though you're still on the regional scene? Helps you when you're going into a situation like this, where not only you're going out of town, you're also going into somebody else's backyard. Because, like I said, I had been paying attention to you since fellow past guest of the show, Darius Estelle, went over there to go fight Joe Giannetti. So I've seen what you've been doing over there with them and stuff like that. I mean, as far as the regional scene goes, I mean, you have been, all over the country so far. So how does that prepare you for a situation like this?
It just gives me all the experience. Like I said, that whole hometown thing that he's got, he's going to have a lot to deal with. People bothering him for tickets, all this last minute shit, and all the hype and keeping up with me. It's a 5-round fight. I've fought 3 5-round fights. I haven't lost one. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't get tired. And when I do get tired, I just keep going. I'm the kind of guy that came from an immigrant family, work hard every day, and it's easy money. I don't know, it's just easy money. It's fun for me. Like, these fights are fun, and I'm just trying to make the most out of my life, and I have no fear. I'm not scared of dying in there. So he's gonna have to do a lot. He's gonna have to put my lights out or use some type of jiu-jitsu to submit me, because holding me down isn't going to happen. I'm not going to be these little white belt dudes he wrestles with. They give up their necks. The fight's over in like fucking 30 seconds. It's not realistic. There's guys that don't fucking go down and won't get knocked out because that's how they're made. And there's guys that you're not going to submit. They're slippery and weird. And he's going to run into me, a more experienced fighter, and we're going to see who and what the chips fly and where they're going to fall.
I like the style of I don't want to say shit talking because it doesn't necessarily fit the mold.
That's just
properly,
confidence.
But it's not that you're not disrespecting the opponent in any way. If anything, you're kind of pumping them up. But the confidence about your own skills, it showcases normally in athletes, especially in this sport, that you feel as though your training is up to par, where you feel as though that shit talk is, or that internal pride is at that level for a reason.
Yeah, I call it one-on-one machismo, man. It really is, man. From Roberto Duran to yeah, man. It's and at the end of the day, it's you're right. Like you said, hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
You got it covered. Rest in peace, Scott.
It is what it is, man. And that's who I am. It's like I always kind of fall into this category of having to go out of town and fight and make my money. At the end of the day, out of town pays more. The fights are more lucrative, more exciting, and they're way more high level. If I'm going to stay at home, the promoters around here are either going to feed me some fucking chumps, some local guys, you know what I mean? Some B level, C level. Austin's getting the A+ package right now. You guys might see me drinking beer, smoking, just like he does. Tonight, I might go run 4 miles after this. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. I'm just the way I am. I'm extreme of both things, and I don't care. This is how I live my life, and I don't give a fuck if people think having a smoke and drinking a couple beers after I've been training 2 times today, and doing privates and driving 40 minutes this way and picking up a kid that way. Blah 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 blah. Doesn't matter to me. I will break them. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to test them.
Well, then you brought up something else that I wanted to touch on. You talk about the immigrant background. I did a little bit of research, and from where you come in here over to the States and stuff like that. How do you feel that helps you in the fight game? Because it's funny that I saw that in the lead up to it, because I was just watching the Fight Lore thing that they did on Glover Teixeira when he won the belt, and his journey from getting there to Brazil, and how when he got here he was supposed to make it into the UFC and they deported him because his visa was messed up. So like, how do you feel like having an immigrant background like that? How does that prepare you for fight scenario?
I've just seen the struggle and the hard work that my parents had to go through just to fucking make ends meet, not knowing English and not being able to get a job basically easily anywhere because they're deemed as stupid or not intelligent because they don't know the language. And some guys come here and they got doctorates and degrees from their country, but they can't learn English fast. They're 46 years old or whatever they come in. My dad was young. He was able to make money in Miami, work as a cook, and worked up to a chef. And he did that for a long time, all the way till he got a job over here. He worked under Celia Cruz when she owned Bongo's Cuban Cafe, and got pictures with all these famous Cuban salsa people. And this is a guy that used to fucking wash dishes and bus the next shift or cook. Like, he would work at the same restaurant, just different positions all day, 24/7. Got home like at 2 in the morning, and I want to make money so I can pay everyone back.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
just
mad
about
at it,
making
dude.
money. It's just
It
about
is,
making
though.
money. It's about making money, and I have way too much pride and machismo to let someone beat me in front of anyone, even if it's like I said, man. I've been doing stuff like this all my life. When I was had a long past with like alcohol abuse when I was like after my early 20s, and I would fucking just get drunk and pick fights at bars at like the UCF college bars. Tom Lawler, who used to be in the UFC, used to be a bar what's it called, like a bar dude, the security
bouncer.
guy. Yeah, at all the local fucking pubs and ones around UCF. If you ever go to UCF, God bless UCF. There's beautiful chicks everywhere. Everywhere, like girls from South Florida, Jacksonville, out of state, Orlando, everywhere you could think of. Beautiful girls, an awesome place to drink and party at, man. And yeah. So yeah, he used to see me knock guys out on a regular and then show up to like the UCF wrestling club practice and out sprint everyone, even though I've been out till 4 in the morning. And that's the type of guy I have. And to this day, he'll tell that story to anybody. And I have countless stories showing up to my high school practice with a cab because my mom didn't know how to drive, but she gave me the money. She's like, just get a cab. I know you missed the bus. So I would show up to my wrestling practice in the cab just to make it a wrestling practice where I would walk home like 8-10 miles. It's always been hard work.
Yeah.
I can totally respect that. Before I ask you my next question, since we're talking about money, we like money over here at Knockouts and 3 Counts. If you got to get yourself together for your taxes, make sure you hit up the homies at G3 Payroll and Tax and tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you, because Jack got me together for my taxes. He can get you together too. Links in the description. Check them out along with Michigan's finest. But now that we've talked about some of that, you've got the nickname The Party. Usually when somebody's got a nickname like that, that means there's some crazy shit a-ho. So with that being said, what makes you the party? And number 2, since you are the party, what kind of entrance are we going to see come lights out?
Oh, man, I wish I could plan something really cool. The best thing I could do is get like something chopped up at I'm big into like Tyson Fury. If you ever look at his entrances back in England, where he has some really cool British fights over there, like local fights versus local dudes. These guys, dude, he would have just crazy mixes. There would be like a 5-minute intro of just different songs and shit from the 80s, 90s. Like he would take his time. And you've seen the ones he already did over here, like when he fought Deontay Wilder. So I don't know. I wish I could do something better, but I'm just gonna come out to something hard. I don't know.
You just made it.
Some satanic shit or something. You know, raining blood from Slayer or some shit. I don't know.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of metal music, bro, you gotta go. You gotta, if you're going that route, man, you might as well go with our buddies from Five Finger Death Punch. Shout out to Chris Cale and them. If you guys checked out last week's episode, they definitely showed mad love when they came out here, brought us backstage to come kick it with them and Ivan and all that good stuff. So shout out to them.
Shout out to fucking Five Finger Death Punch. No, I that's a cool ass band, man. They're fucking badasses. That was around when I was fucking a little younger. I'm a little longer in the tooth than Austin. I still have, I need reading glasses. This is my young boy.
What's going on, man?
We got special guests in the building, but yeah, man, I'm interested to see what we see, man, because I've heard, Joe the Party likes to get crazy, man. All I know is I'm looking and ready to see things get crazy come lights out. With that being said, let me ask you this. Do you, with you being somebody who is very entertainment oriented and stuff like that, what do you make of all this stuff that we're seeing with like Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, and now you're seeing Le'Veon Bell's going to fight again against Uriah Hall, and then you've got all this crazy stuff. What do you think about the crossovers?
I think it's good, man. I think anyone making money for the fighters is good. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't give a fuck. As long as the fighters are making money, that's good, man. Because that ultimately at the end of the day, what people don't see backstage is guys like me that are ranked in the top of the nation, whatever, by Tapology or whatever the fuck or anything. You're working, serving tables, bartending, security guys usually. Hard, man. It's not an easy lifestyle. And like I said, I've suffered a lot more than Austin. I've had a tougher life than Austin, and I'm bringing all that pain, all my anger, all my frustration, and I'm taking it out on him in front of his pretty fans, his pretty wife, whoever he's got out there. I live this shit 24/7, and once I get 5 days off of work and I don't have to be that normal nice guy that I usually am, I'm gonna turn into a total dickhead. And we're gonna see a war coming. I want to see what he's got. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like It's a fucking school fight, and I'm ready. I can't wait. I don't know, man. I work with great guys too here in Florida. I want a big shout out to Fusion Excel in Orlando. Numerous guys I can name, but so many guys like my boy Leandro Issa. He's fighting in on 1FC. I think in like 10 days.
Nice.
My boy Lucas Alexander just got a call to the UFC. He's fighting at the Apex this Saturday. Check him out. He's fighting some other crazy Brazilian. I got guys.
Nice.
Nico Price is fighting my boy Phil Rowe.
Nico's the man.
Yeah. It's, I come from a gym that might be small. We literally have one bathroom and one fucking shower, and we shower outside in the hose. If you ever look at my Instagram, Joey Nuts, check me out. You'll see a bunch of dumbasses just hosing off because we don't give a fuck, man. We down here in Florida, it's hot, and we do what we got, And we don't have that many coaches, and that's one thing, like you were talking about, like experience-wise. I have so much experience, and it's gonna be that's the one thing that I don't think the people can see and he can't account for. But I have to make that work in my favor, is the experience. So he can trump that, I'm sure, with youth, technique, but he's going to have to out-technique me. I'm not going to just slug it out with him. And when I do slug it out, it's going to be intelligent. And if he falls, he falls. And I think he's going to fall. He's going to
If he dies, he dies. Let's hope nobody dies. But, with that...
I just feel like he's going to there's something he's going to do, and it's not going to go good. Him, and then it's gonna be lights out, or I'm gonna go on a barrage. But we'll see. He's a good guy. I can't wait. Like I said, the experience is gonna do a lot, and I can't wait. Let's see if he's gonna be able to put up with all his fans being there, chanting "Go Austin, Austin, go!" All that dumb shit. Always saying this. I like no, beat his ass. All that.
It had a little pressure on him, to be honest. I mean, you want to show out for your hometown, man.
The pressure's on him. It doesn't matter if I lose or win. It's his undefeated record, his reputation, his crowd, his state. This is me going into his territory. Let's see what he's got. Does he got the balls to back it up, or is he going to fall and wilter under the pressure? We will see.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. November 12th. Go ahead, Corey.
It almost seems like
I'll be there.
It almost seems like you fall under the ilk that it's almost a home field disadvantage being the home fighter, because it seems like you brought it up multiple times where the pressure, to your point, all these people asking for tickets, all these people asking what day, when, answering all the text messages, all the calls, trying to line up coaches and all that type of shit, where you're just you're a couple guys and you're focused and you're bringing yourself in. You know?
No coaches needed. And when I say that, if you check out all my fights, I used to have my wife coach me. You know why? Because it costs money to bring your cornerman. You know why? It costs money to get another room. Fuck that. I keep all the money and I go and I drive myself. I've driven to Mississippi, driven to New Jersey with my car, took my wife with me and put her in the corner, and she learned how to corner MMA. And a lot of the times I would go into the opposing locker room and just grab a guy to get my hands wrapped. Okay? So it's like I've been in this game long enough and I've seen everybody. And I can't wait to prove it all, though. I love you guys. I love Michigan, really. Like I said, my head coach is graduated from Michigan State. He ran track over there. His dad played for the Cincinnati Bengals. His name is Reggie Williams, is the football player, but my coach's name is Julian Williams. And I can't wait. I can't wait. He's going to have to get some Florida heat and some athleticism to go against his little
All right. Well, you
6'7"
mentioned Florida. I got two more questions for you before I get out of here. Number one, you told me that you're a wrestling guy, man. As all of you guys who are watching this know, we'll get to our thoughts on Extreme Rules and all that once we end things up here with the party. But with that being said, you told me when you reached out to us that you was a wrestling guy too. So tell me a little bit about some of the stuff that caught your eye. Does that have anything into going into what you do going into fights, whether that's on the mic or anything like that? Tell me about that.
Everything, yeah. Pro wrestling, I think, for me, is cool. I like it because I understand the art of it. It's acting and athleticism. There's a lot more that goes into like kind of like playing a persona and being able to like connect with the crowd. It being a good guy or a bad guy. People don't understand that. There's a crazy, weird connection you make with the crowd when they hate you or they love you. And that's what I said. I can't wait because the hate feels like love to me. It's different. I don't know why. The hate feels like love to me. I'm like,
natural heel, man.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
I'm at home.
Yeah, I mean, you hear guys say it all the time, bro. If they're making a reaction, when it comes to wrestling, whether it's a good reaction or a bad reaction, unless it's a real bad reaction, you're usually doing something right. Who were some of the standouts for you, bro? Who was catching the eye?
Listen, of course, on the mic, there was the best guys of all time, like The Rock or like Stone Cold and Ric Flair, and all these guys had the best promos. I used to like Macho Man's promos, even though he was incoherent sometimes. He was crazy, but I like Macho Man.
Thinking.
Yeah, the cream of the mountain top or whatever he did.
Cream of the crop.
There you go. But I used to watch pro wrestling for talent and stuff, and the biggest thing I would watch it for is like guys like Ultimo Dragon, Yushin Liger, Rey Mysterio, of course, but he wasn't even one of my favorites. I used to like La Parca's stint.
I like it.
Like these are guys,
the chairman,
outside names that I used to like technically for their like technical prowess, and that's what I look for more.
Well,
like,
La Parca could just swing a chair and kill somebody.
Yeah, but I'm more into like Rob Van Dam. Like I used to watch ECW growing up.
Nice.
Like, it was heyday. So Rob Van Dam, Bam Bam Bigelow. I love how the big man can do a backflip. Come on, the Undertaker's
Bam Bam was
great,
the deal.
but I'm talking about guys that can do a freaking spinning back kick and do these cool moves. Even Shawn Michaels, I loved. Come on, I don't know, all those guys I love. The whole Attitude Era. Obviously, I grew up during that era. I was a kid. But besides that, the whole like Japanese and Mexican wrestling scene was my favorite. The luchadors and the famous guys from Japan. Some of them were some really underrated, really good technical wrestling.
Well, that's good to know, man. For any of you guys who are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got something for you to watch when you get out of here. You'll have to check out our chat with our guy Ninja Mac. He was still in his full-on mask and everything, man. That dude's throwing ninja kicks, and it was a former wrestler like you. It was nice to see him do Bloodsport, which is ran by Josh Barnett, which is, like kind of like a work shoot in between them. And I saw him throw one of the sweetest fucking spinning back kicks. that absolutely fucking crushed his opponent.
Incredible.
That was fucking sick. That made like all the highlight reels. It was insane. But yeah, dude, wrestling's always got such a crossover. With that being said, you know, you being a fighter, what are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey making the move over there?
I've seen her. I don't think she's that great. Not gonna lie. I've seen
I
her,
like
but
it.
a lot of the
Long
wrestling,
story short, right?
a lot of the wrestling isn't that great nowadays. I feel like
Not like when we were kids, sure.
it's just. I'm not talking about the. I don't know how to put it. Like I've tried to watch shows and get entertained, but like my favorite acts are like more like Bray Wyatt and like these guys.
Well, what do you think about his return?
I gotta check out his return. I keep seeing the clip like pop up, and I'm like, I don't
It
know
was
if they
dope,
came
dude.
back to WWE. I just Bray Wyatt's dope though. That's why he probably puts a lot of. He was like, bitch, I need to have a say on what we're doing because you little stank ass hoes. You know how it is.
Here,
You're under.
well, I'll give you a little sneak preview since we're going to be talking about Extreme Rules
Tell
in a
me.
minute. Yeah, they pretty much, dude, it was insane. They had all the Firefly Funhouse characters all throughout the crowd. So at different spots in the crowd, they're turning on the light and the pig's sitting there. You turn on the light and the buzzards over there. You turn on the light and the damn owls over there, or whatever the hell the other thing is. And then the lights come back on again, and the old Fiend mask is all burnt up and charred, and Michael Colbell fell over the damn thing. And then he walks through like this forbidden door, like out the closet thing. So he looks more like the original Bray Wyatt, but he had a mask on over top of it. So I don't know if that means you're still going to see an alter ego like that or how that's going to play out. But we will get into Extreme Rules in a little bit. But since you mentioned Bray Wyatt, dude, do yourself a favor. Go look on Twitter and check that out. Because
Bray Wyatt's dope. Like I said, and shout out to Sting when he did the whole crow thing. I forgot that probably.
He's still going today too.
Still kicking. Still doing it.
He is dope. I know that thing was played out and they did some crazy shit on TNA. They made him like a Joker Sting. I'm like, listen, these guys are on coke or something over there. I'm like, we gotta erase that from the memory and just leave the regular Sting with the back coming down on WCW, whipping everyone's ass from NWO. I love that time. He did a
Bat
great
and a
job
scorpion death drop a day will do you. Well, hey man, we've kept you in here for quite a little while. Again, for anybody who's new to the Joe the Party or any of that good stuff, let them know what they're in store for November 12th. Like I said, for any of you guys who are listening to this, I will be on the call. I don't know why Matt Friendo gave me another live mic again, but you need to be in the building at the Hype Athletic Center in Dearborn Heights because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth because this time it's going to be me and Kenny Cross on the mic, so this should be interesting. It could be like Call of Duty Warzone just in front of a fight. So with that being said, let them know why they need to be in the building, man.
Listen, come watch this fight and this guy fall. My name is Joe the Party. I come from Florida, and I wrestle out of the mall. That's a poem I wrote for everyone because I train at a mall. But yeah, please come check us out November 12th. I think it's called the Hype Arena. What's it called?
Hype Athletic Center, yep.
The Hype Athletic Center. Come check us out. Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn Heights, I think you said. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to go try to find the best Italian place around town and carb load the night before. You're going to see mayhem.
Roman Village.
You're going to see mayhem, loud music, beautiful women. Bring the kids. I don't know if it's kid-friendly. Is it kid-friendly?
Oh, yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Kid-friendly. Bring your kids. We got security. We got cops at hand. Drive safe. And please come check us out. Come check out all the world. Check out Austin Fall, November 12th. And please come boo me.
Let them know where to find you on the socials and all that shit.
At Joey Starnuts. I had to start a new one because the party one got hacked by some Russian idiots. So now, so come check out my like porn name, Joey Starnuts. You know, one day when I retire from this, I'll have to use my penis for other things out here. So gotta make money somehow. I love you all. Thank you so much for the opportunity, the time. Your platform's amazing. Like I said, I'm just there to compete. I do this for my family. November 12th. Come check us out. Dearborn, Michigan. Let's play.
You heard it. It's time to party November 12th, man. Let's go.
I know Austin, but, man, you might have just won over another fan in the building, man.
Talk them into the seats. The wrestling 101, man. I can't wait to see it. Like Joe said, make sure you're here November 12th. We appreciate you, brother, man.
Peace. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Bye.
the time, man.
Bye, guys.
All right, Joe the Party.
Oh,
Before we get on to Extreme Rules, how are you guys feeling about Joe the Party versus Austin Bashi on
Man,
November 12th?
not only did he build up the anticipation for the fight itself, right? Like he did a great job. There's been many times where we do this whole we've had the past guest and now we have the opponent type of thing. And I feel like this has been the most successful one, man. He hit that thing right out the park.
Yeah.
He hit it over the Fenway wall, man. He really put some work in there, man. Like I said, he might have earned himself a fan going into that night. I like Austin, but he can talk a game, man.
Yeah.
So I'm
It was
excited
entertaining,
to see,
right? That's what it's all
right?
about, man. Entertaining as hell. Talked us right into the seats. I'm with it, dude.
Yeah,
That should be a
lived
great
up
fight.
to the nickname, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, if any of you guys watching, let us know what you think of Joe the Party, and let us know if you're going to be at Lights Out, because like I said, all the tickets are on sale. Make sure you hit them links. Make sure you're in the building. Hype Athletic Center. It's going down. But you know what else was going down this weekend, gentlemen? Chris, man, you got good time because I know you're a wrestling guy, but you just missed out on Joe the Party, bro. You got to go back and check that out. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit subscribe button. If you look in the description, there is the interview with Austin in there as well. So like I said, there's still a lot to talk about. But what else was going down this damn weekend? You had Extreme Rules. You had GCW Fight Night and Mox versus Gage. And if Nick Gage loses, he had to retire. So we had a lot of shit going on this weekend with there being no fights. So, J-Bone, before we get into, what were your highlights from Extreme Rules? Any of you guys who are watching, let us know what you thought of Extreme Rules. Because I got to tell you, from top to bottom, that shit was pretty badass. And the way they did the Bray Wyatt thing, dude, that shit was fucking amazing. That's all I'm going to say. But I want to hear what you think first.
I don't know if we have enough time to go through the highlights for that pay-per-view, man. I think we were talking about it on the phone, me and you. This is technically, by technicality, the third pay-per-view under Triple H. SummerSlam we won't count too much because it kind of took over right then, right? But in this 3-month span, has these pay-per-views not been like off the hook? Like top to bottom. And like keep in mind, we were talking about this last week, Kyle. This pay-per-view only had 6 matches, right? 6 matches. Every single match had a story. Every single match had something worth watching for. You know what I mean? Whether it was the Brawling Brutes and the 6-man tag, which was a banger. It opened the show. I thought it was freaking great. The ladder match with Bayley and Bianca Belair. You had Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan. Everything had a story, all to be completely overshadowed by one man returning, which was probably one of the better returns I think I've ever seen. I mean, we've seen a lot of returns. We watch a lot of wrestling, dude, but like, it'd take a while for me to rank that, but that's right up there, dude. That might have been one of the best returns that I've ever seen. And we'll get into it, I'm sure. But highlight after highlight for that pay-per-view, dude. Great.
Dude,
job.
now
the way they
my
did
question,
it, too, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
But my question I wanted to pose to you guys, right? Because as the outsider's perspective on this one, I did kind of enjoy the whole build up to the, I guess, unveil or whatever you want to call it, the return.
The White Rabbit.
But the whole White Rabbit thing that led into where we, were over this past weekend. But really my question boils down to, did you guys wish we would have seen him get into in-ring action following this whole return and maybe take over a match or something like that? Or do you think that the way that it was played out was how you'd like it?
Well, I'll take this one first and give you my thoughts on it as well. No, I don't. For the simple fact that they, of all people, they could have had him come out to interrupt. So Seth Rollins loses in the fight pit, which I'll get into that too. But I really love the fact that they finished the match with a triangle choke. I thought that was like, I loved that with it being, the MMA side of it. Shout out to DC, him trying to throw around Riddle and Rollins a little bit. But with that being said, no, I'm not mad at it at all because nobody knew for sure if it was going to be him. Everybody thought it was going to be him. But even if he does come back, I mean, when you really think about it, the way he left, there's so many loose ends, right? Because like he had the Alexa thing where that's why she's been carrying the doll for however the fuck long. You've got, or the route which they went. Seth Rollins is at an all-time low.
And then who comes out? The guy that fought the Fiend last. Let's not forget that they had the Hell in a Cell match. And I just want to tell all you guys, that's why you need to be following us at KO3C Pod, because about 20 minutes before that, there is proof, and Darren McCarty confirmed it. I told y'all, motherfuckers, that he might be coming out towards Seth Rollins, even though I don't think Seth is his objective, but just all the nods to all the different stuff, right? Like the fact that he came out with the mask on that reminds you of the Fiend, but then when he takes the mask off, he looks like regular Bray Wyatt, and he's got the lantern and all that. Like so many little details that were put into that. And the fact that the lights were the way they were, and that it was kind of a drawn out thing, but it wasn't something that seemed like it went too long. And then like to have there be little things that kept happening throughout the night last night on Raw. They say that we're going to hear from Bray this Friday on SmackDown. I don't know. As far as comebacks, like I got to say, I legitimately, that shit was done about as well as I really think you could have done it. Like, to be honest, like I enjoyed it. It was, it's going to be interesting because we still don't know like what his motive is coming back this time. We don't know if he wants championships. We don't know if he's got his own side projects that you want to go to. And again, to even go into your own point about like the lead up to get there and what that did, like, bro, that right there kind of tells you everything you kind of need to know, because we still don't know, which still leaves you kind of sitting there like, shit, what, that's like, what's going to happen? Where are we going to go with this? Who's his target? Like that's good.
To answer my own question, did you get a chance to answer? Yeah, J-Bone?
No, I was just gonna say we got left with more answers or more questions than answers, which is cool because we're prolonging the story, man. If they can find ways and implement ways to continue, because I mean the White Rabbit's out of the hat, right? We already know who it is, but now we're finding ways, and he hasn't even stepped in the ring, and we're finding ways to keep it going and keep it going. That way, when he does get in the ring, it's gonna be a very big deal. It may be what do you think, Kyle? Survivor Series probably will be Crown Jewel. Probably be Survivor Series. If
I would guess honestly that it might be Crown Jewel because we already know that the Prince liked the Fiend before.
True,
so
I guess
especially with how big of a comeback.
Request, so
it doesn't mean he's got to be in the match, but I think unless they've got something specific already lined up that they want him to do, I wouldn't put it past that he's going to show up at Crown Jewel. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the timing couldn't have been more perfect. I think the way that they did at the end of the show and went off the air like that, and it had like that old school feel to you where you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I have to watch it because I don't know who he wants to fight. I don't know what his motives are. I don't know if he's going to be on SmackDown. I don't know if he's going to be on Raw. I don't know if he's going to be on both. Like the fact that there are all these questions and so many, and the fact that there's like the little things like Alexa Bliss tweeting out like "Hello, old friend" and all this shit. Yeah. There's so many little things you can go to,
still.
and that's what makes that shit so entertaining. Well, since we're talking about that, maybe we should kind of go a little bit out of order, at least as far as match orders. We talked about that this was right after Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. J-Bone, what did you think about the fight pit?
Oh, I loved it, dude. That was great. And I'm glad it was the main event too, because I didn't, I totally forgot they take the ropes off for that. So like, it would have to be the main event. Remember we were talking about Ronda and Liv being the main event, but dude, that went off great. DC at one point though, DC looked like he was having more fun than being, playing the role per se. He looked like he was just having a lot of fun out there, dude. There was one spot, I think it was it Seth or was it Riddle? I can't remember. He kind of picked him up and threw him, and I don't know if he didn't realize he was that close to the cage, but dude, he like face planted in. Like I want to say
it was Riddle.
Was it Riddle?
It was Riddle.
I'm like, damn, DC out there just showing his power.
He just basically forearmed Seth up against the cage and put his fucking weight against him. It's like, look, don't touch me again.
Yeah,
like just like
he just threw him, dude. But no, that floating bro or whatever from the top was pretty gnarly, dude. I like that. That's a good spot.
The floating bro.
Dude, I don't know how Seth Rollins' ribs aren't broken.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the thud when he hit.
But the way the camera angle, dude, it looked like he was coming down far.
Dude, the not even just the height, like the thud when he hit him. I just like, ooh, that fucking sucked. Like you heard it, just a big, thick, loud ass, just wham, and just ugh, dude, you just looking at it like, oh my god, that didn't sound very good. But yeah, dude.
As somebody who watches many combat sports, Kyle, I'm sure you can attest to it. You can tell the difference between when it's just like skin on skin smack until when it's like internal organ smack. You know,
well, the whole ring in the cage all shook when he hit the floor.
Yeah.
So
No,
he was coming down like a ton of bricks. I liked it. I thought it was cool to see DC in there. I thought he did a good job. We're hearing rumors of, maybe him and Brock or whatever. I would love to see it. You would get my eyeballs. Well, we've already saw that before. It looks like it's going to happen now at Crown Jewel because, on Raw last night, Brock Lesnar returned and shows up and says, hello, Bobby Lashley, and then just beats the dog piss out of him.
Yeah.
Which opened the door for Seth to have quite the 24 hours. He gets his ass beat in the fight pit, choked out by Riddle, and then 24 hours later is your new US champion, thanks to a little help from Brock Lesnar. But, yeah, dude, I liked how that played out. I get it how you live, bro. Championships make money. Hey, I don't give a shit.
Worst pay-per-view record of the year, but somehow still manages to win the title.
Look, if he stays at this route, he might go out a champ.
He might.
That's what I attested to. That's what I was attesting to when we were breaking down the fight to begin with, is the fact that there's certain people that outshine their win-loss record. Like to bring it over to my side, the Nate Diaz. I know he went out on the win and all, but really he was just as big of a star whether he was winning and losing those fights throughout. And you can attest to it here. There's a reason why they wanted to put that belt on him, win or lose throughout his last however many matches. It doesn't matter. As long as you have that fan draw behind you, which I feel like somebody.
Well, and he's a proven winner too. Like Seth's won pretty much everything there is to be in there, so he could be on the back burner like he has for months, and then be able to still get himself over even in losing. And with that being said, that shows that right there, just in what you said, the ability to be able to do that shows not only how good Seth is, it also shows the longevity of his character, because everybody knows at any given second you can flip your fingers and then he can be right back in the, the top of the thing. And at this point, he's already proven it doesn't matter the opponent, doesn't matter the size of the opponent. Like, he's one of the money players for them. And
that being said, how long of a title reign are we talking here, boys?
For a U.S. championship, or?
I bet he takes it to the Rumble.
I'd say probably the Rumble. I'd say probably the Rumble.
Depending on who's in play and what places.
Hell, I mean, he could take it into WrestleMania because, let's be honest, bro, I don't think there's going to be a lot of movement with the world title picture between now and, WrestleMania, to be honest. I mean, I think most of us are of the same ilk that we all think that it's going to be, The Rock and Roman there. But with that being said, before you ever get there to The Rock and Roman, I mean, you've got Logan Paul and Roman Reigns in a few weeks here in Saudi Arabia. So we'll get to that in a few minutes.
The new champ.
Dude, if he was the one to take the belt off of Logan Paul or off of fucking Roman Reigns after all this time, I would be mad as fuck.
Would you? Would you be so salty? Because I mean,
the only way I could ever see him winning, period, is there better be a shit ton of like interference. Because if he beats him straight up.
He hasn't been active enough.
Dude, let me just tell you, if somehow ridiculous. This fucking guy wins that title, you could take everything that Triple H has done and made this WWE awesome again and just shit on it. You just throw it all away, okay? Just let's just not
put a
even
brown
speak
cherry on top of his awesome fucking.
Pretty much. Let's just not even speak it into existence, all right? Let's just not.
I mean, we know some crazy shit happens in Saudi. Just ask the Fiend when Goldberg beat him. Like I said,
why are we bringing up old stuff?
We're talking about Crown Jewel. I felt like I just needed to lay the context, but I don't want to see
bad stuff.
I don't want to see a redo of that either, because I literally almost threw my fucking phone at the TV. Like, why the fuck did you do that? I still am saying, why the fuck did you do that? So I'm with you on that. But with that being said, J-Bone, I'll let you take this one first, bro. I mean, honestly, I think you're right. I think it may have stolen match of the night, although I think Fight Pit definitely could have been as well. what did you think of Edge versus Finn Balor, the I Quit match? I think that it started off slow, but boy, by the time you got to the end of it and the way that match ended and all the different little story arcs that are out of it, especially with what we saw on Raw the next night. I mean, what are your thoughts on the I Quit match?
Dude, that was lovely. That was so good. Honestly, when we talked about it last week, we were talking about who needs to win that match. We said Finn Balor needs to win that match. And at that point in time, you think like, okay, Edge isn't going to say I quit. So how's he going to get him there? They had layers upon layers upon layers of story in that match, dude, building up. Because honestly, I didn't think Beth was going to come out. That part got me. I mean, I get it. Obviously, what's going to make him quit? That's going to be it. I thought Rey Mysterio was going to have something to do with that. With Dominic, I thought Mysterio was going to be, at risk of being injured, or they're going to step on his neck or something like they would have did with Beth. But having his wife out there, dude, that just put the cherry on top. That was great storytelling within a match, dude. And that was my match of the night, dude. So I love that match.
So, Corey, so I can give you a little context, essentially what happened was him and Finn Balor were fighting through most of the match, and then as expected, the Judgment Day came out. Well, there wasn't anybody Rey Mysterio came out to try to make the save for Edge, and then he got laid out by Dominic, and then so Dominic's finally hit Rey, and then you had Edge is still kind of getting beat down, and who comes to the rescue but Beth Phoenix, and she is beating the shit out of everybody with a kendo stick. And then her and Rhea square off for a quick second, and then what they did to beat Edge is they held him by the arms while they were about to concerto Beth. So Beth is knocked out with her head on a chair, and they told him, if you don't say I quit, we're going to crush his head. And then as soon as he did, they crushed her head anyway. So, yeah, it was the storytelling in it was wild, dude. The elements of it were wild. Like the kick to the nuts from, the kick to the nuts. Yeah, dude. Like the little elements. Yeah. Storytelling wise, dude, that was insane. I'm interested to see what we see next. And I mean, I don't know about you, J-Bone, but dude, I got serious Eddie vibes right now.
Yeah, dude, definitely. And
serious
Kyle,
Eddie
goes
vibes.
back to our point, man.
I don't know.
We were talking about what the Judgment Day needed, and like it was kind of getting stale. And I think that's what they really needed you to hate them. We need a reason to really, really dislike you. You know what I mean? And I think that they finally got there for me. Now I really feel like they matter, especially heel wise. You know what I mean? And then of course you got what happened the following night with AJ.
Right on AJ, we've seen that they've been trying to recruit AJ forever, and the Good Brothers. Now that's wild. That's something to talk about. We saw that on Raw last night, that we had the return of the Good Brothers, who are also one half of them is still your current never open weight champion in New Japan, and they came in to make the save for old Uncle Allen, AJ Styles. Fucking coming down to the ring to come fight against the Judgment Day. Hell of a pop for them. And then, this is why you guys should be listening to Busted Open in the mornings if you're a wrestling fan. We also have had a bunch of them on the show at this point, between Dave and Ryan and all that good stuff. But with that being said, something they were talking about this morning was very telling too. They've been gone from WWE for 5 years. Their last night there was in the Barclays Center putting down the Dudleys. So for them to return at the Barclays, is pretty cool in and of itself too. So I agree. I definitely am interested to see how this goes, because we know that we're going to have a men's war games and a women's war games. So we'll have to see how that plays out. What do you think about Bianca and Bailey in this one? I don't know, man. This isn't a slight on Damage Control or anything, because I like all the pieces of them. Like, I'm a fan of Io Sky. I'm a fan of Dakota Kai. And I'm a really big fan of Bailey. I think Bailey is one of the best females in the world. And, I mean, definitely, obviously, one of the best wrestlers in WWE. But with that being said, I just don't think she needs a group, because the group as a whole just doesn't connect for me. They don't really seem to have the chemistry. Like, they're all good. Like, I'm not saying that they're not, like, it's because they're not good, but it just doesn't seem to mesh. Like, most factions, when you think about, like, the Horsemen or, like, Evolution or whatever the case, they all have kind of got, like, a mission statement. Like, we're kind of here to, take over this or that or the other, but like, you know, there's really no reason for why they put them together, you know? So I don't know. I thought Bailey and Bianca had a hell of a match. Bianca retaining the title, I'm not mad at all, but I, for one, don't know how much longer we're going to see Damage Control, just because it just seems to me like they're not getting over like that. What do you think, J-Bo?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And this goes back to the Judgment Day thing. Like, they haven't done anything to make me think they matter. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing run-ins for her to win consistently. You didn't cause anything for her to win the title last night. So it's just like, you know, let's face it, dude, she's a superstar. She's one of the better female wrestlers out there. So not saying anything bad about Damage Control, but like you said, they're just not up to par with her. Maybe that's the wrong pieces. Maybe a faction will do, but maybe it's just not.
But I think it's got more to do with, like, there was never like a explained reason why they came back. Like, you know, all you hear Bailey say in interviews is like, "Oh, I Damage Control got put together because I thought that Io Shirai and you know, Dakota were severely overlooked," which they are. Yeah. But like, okay, so they got the tag titles, they're on TV every week, but it just doesn't seem like the fans seem to give a fuck. Like, especially there in Brooklyn, they really didn't seem to give a shit when they were out there. Like, they were all almost silent. Yeah, you know, when they were out there. So
yeah, that's the worst reaction you can get.
Right, and for having somebody like Bailey out there, that's why I say I don't know if it's just a group or what the case is, maybe, but all I know is that you definitely aren't seeing, you know, like the fans like getting all over it, like what we saw in the same thing with the DX reunion on Raw. What did you think? What did you think about the title change we had on the women's side on SmackDown, though? I mean, I think most of us kind of thought that Ronda Rousey was going to beat Liv in this one. I don't know what the fuck that was that they used to try to say that she choked her out with. Like, that didn't really make sense.
A little sketchy for me.
That didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense. But I think Ronda being the champion makes all the sense. Not shitting on Liv by any means, because clearly the crowd loves her. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think Extreme Rules gave you like the believability enough to like look at Liv and be like, you know what, Liv could win because she's got the weapons. But yeah, at the same time, with no rules and somebody in there like Ronda Rousey, I think Ronda Rousey was supposed to kick her ass.
I mean, with the match rules laid out the way they were, right? We had discussed it when kind of breaking down the pay-per-view last week, that's the direction it should have went, right? Like, lock these two up with no actual rules, and Ronda Rousey's going to win 99% of the time, right? But that being said, we hear it from people all the time, right? Like, I mean, the party was just talking about it earlier, right? How Ronda Rousey, to him at least, has been a flop in wrestling. And it seems like a lot of people feel that not necessarily she's been a flop, but her wrestling skills haven't necessarily improved, and that she's kind of plateaued. But the thing is, she keeps getting all these title, not only opportunities, she keeps getting like straight up the title. Like, whether she loses it to other people or whatever the case be, she's right back in it, right back at the top. As wrestling fans yourself, right? I know, Kyle, more so you probably judge her based upon her fighting days more so, but do you think she's over-respected in WWE with all these shots and stuff she's getting, with like not necessarily improving her skills and stuff, or to the fact where a lot of it seems like every time she gets brought up in general conversation, somebody's like, yeah, she's fine, you know, but I feel like for the person that you're constantly bringing towards the top, they should be more than just fine at what they're doing currently, whether they were great before. We're talking current, you know?
Yeah. J-Bone, I'll let you take that one first. What do you think about
that? For
me,
man, okay, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her wrestling, but there's no way that I'm going to believe that she's going to lose to these women. I mean, let's just face it. Ronda Rousey, at one point, the baddest woman on the planet, right? You're not going to put her in a ring and make her get beat up by, I don't know, with any name. It doesn't even matter. It's not believable, right? That's like perfect example, Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be nowhere near the title, but anytime he steps in the ring, he's a badass and he's going to kick somebody's ass. That's believable because of who he is in his past. I think the same thing goes for Ronda. Yeah, we put her towards the title, but where else are you going to put her?
You can't put her back down the card, dude.
You can't put her at the beginning of the
Especially
line.
not with what they're paying her.
She's going to kick everybody's ass.
Yeah, valid answer. That's why
I think that's
and
I don't want to say they put themselves in a hole with it, but you really can't do much else with it. You're not going to make me believe that she's going to get beat up by anybody. Even a bigger woman, Nia Jackson, going to come back and kick her ass. You know what I mean?
So here's my thoughts on it, right? Like a lot of people, I've heard what you say, but I disagree in her wrestling hasn't gotten better. I really disagree with that because the way that Ronda is able to sell now, where in the beginning it just seemed like she kind of walked through everything and all that stuff, kind of like Lily just did. But with that being said, with Ronda though, people say that she hasn't gotten better. I disagree. In the ring, I feel like she's doing fine. I don't think her in the ring was ever really the problem. I think all we've really learned is what I've said since the beginning, and that's that Ronda doesn't need to be cutting these big, long promos. Ronda needs to be short, get in, make the point, I'm going to fuck you up, and that be the end of it. Yeah. Like, if anything, if you really want to start doing another layer, give her somebody like Paul Heyman or something to talk for her. But I don't think somebody like Ronda Rousey needs to be, moved back down the card. Because then again, like J-Bone said, I mean, everyone that really knows what's going on knows at this point her background with the UFC and all those things. So like you can't just put her back down. Now, what I would like to see, what I would like to see with it. Okay, you want to talk about, faction type shit. I've said it for a while, ever since we saw, that thing between Shayna and Ronda. Let them be a team and just beat the fuck out of everybody and win the tag titles. Like, I would love to see that. I would love to see those two as a tag team. Because name one team that you could put together on the WWE roster right now that beats them.
True. I mean, that's why I posed the question, is because, I feel like there's definitely arguments on each side, right? And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on said topic. But that being said, I just feel like she doesn't. My critique on her in-ring wrestling, because I agree with the out of ring, the mic stuff and all that type of stuff, but that's you either got it or you don't. And to your point, you can bring in a mouthpiece. That's not the end of the world. If anything, it worked really well in the past for a lot of people. But that being said, my whole thing is I feel like she doesn't risk the biscuit enough, if you get what I mean. She goes in there and she may be improving on not looking so stiff and stuff like that, but she doesn't do these showcase moves where it's like, damn, I can't believe she was willing to risk the biscuit on that one. You know what I mean? It's always the same, oh, I've got her in this chokehold and there's no way she should be able to get out because my jiu-jitsu and my judo skills and stuff like that. I feel like she's already, granted, with the background she has, and that's why she's so respected, she should play into her background a little bit. But I feel like she also needs to evolve her game, maybe not be some high flyer or something like that, but just go for some more riskier maneuvers, stuff that really catches the eye for the outside viewer.
Okay, so let me ask you this, though. Here's the thing, though. To me, it doesn't make sense for somebody like her to be doing all the top rope stuff because – to me, everybody knows that anyone that knows anything knows that her game is that she wants to fucking armbar. I don't think she needs to be doing a bunch of the flying stuff because that's not.
What about the old Kurt Angle approach, right? Where she just fucking picks up and fucking suplexes the shit out of everybody.
That's fine. That's fine. But that goes along with her character, right? I've heard the comparison a lot of times. Really, she's the female Brock Lesnar. So that's why,
or pick up some cool Triple H style finisher where you pick them up and you load them up and then you drop them.
She's got the Piper's Pit. She's got the Piper's Pit, and she's
gave her what if you gave her a gimmick, how Triple H got the sledgehammer? What if you give Ronda something
I don't think you give her a weapon though, because that's she doesn't need a weapon.
add some seasoning to her. You know what I mean?
That's where I feel like you can play more into the strength and the physicality of her and stuff. And I feel like if that's the role she's going to play, where she's, to your point, Kyle, running through these girls, and you put her in this tag team and she's going to run through it, like, all right, cool. Now let me see you fucking slam the shit out. Not really, but, that's my critique on the evolution of her game, is I feel like she just doesn't go for anything beyond.
I want to see Ronda in the fight pit. That's what I want.
I was going to say. Maybe
I want to see Ronda in the fight pit. And you know what? We talked about Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. I want to see Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley in the fucking fight pit.
Yeah.
Bring DC's ass back and let him be the referee and let them two big motherfuckers
bring
fight
back Raw Underground, man. Let's do a whole episode Monday night.
They totally ripped that off of Bloodsport. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They totally ripped that off Bloodsport. And if you say they aren't, you're fucking lying. You're a fucking liar if you say that you don't think that they got that off Bloodsport. Now go look at Bloodsport and see how long before they were doing that, and then look at that and tell
somebody
me
was out there watching like, hey, that looks cool. Let's do that.
Like I said,
ooh,
I feel like
I saw this movie Bloodsport the other day. Let's make Raw Underground look like that.
Right. I feel like I keep pointing to last week's show for all those people that may have missed last week's show, but yet
hit
again,
the subscribe button.
That point was made last week, where I feel like WWE especially has done a great job of surveilling the landscape, seeing what they feel as though they could do a great job with, and then adding their production and their talent to it. So
hey, at the very least, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're gonna get out of now that we're out of Extreme Rules. We had the season premieres of Raw and SmackDown, and we saw the first taste of the new commentary teams. They said on the pay-per-view that now on all pay-per-views are going to be called by Corey Graves and Michael Cole. That was dope. I thought, honestly, I said it here on the air. I didn't know what I was going to think of Kevin Patrick being with Corey Graves. I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. Like, he wasn't bad. I feel like he had some good things. Corey and him seem to have a lot of chemistry. I like Wade Barrett and Michael Cole on SmackDown. They've got a hell of a dynamic. So I'm going to have to watch SmackDown tonight and see how I like Booker T, 5-time WCW champion. Make sure you go check out that in your past episodes. Him and his brother Stevie Ray are both past guests of this show. But with that being said, I'm going to have to go and check that out. But before I get out of here, there's one other thing we got to talk about. GCW Fight Club. It was either win or go home for Nick Gage. It was him versus Jon Moxley for the GCW title. If Nick Gage loses, he's got to retire. J-Bone, have you saw the fallout from this? What did you think of this? I like the fact that since Mox is with AEW, that Stokely Hathaway and Big Cash showed up to kind of fuck him over. I thought that was kind of cool, because at least it gives you more ammo for when he goes back to AEW. But what'd you think of Mox versus Gage, real quick?
Dude, that was great. I love Nick Gage, dude. I honestly, though, I'll be completely honest. I thought he was going to lose that match. Can I help you? Hello, go away. Bye-bye. I thought he was going to lose that match.
Throw up the MDKs real quick.
I honestly thought he was going to lose that, man. But
I did too. But I mean, then I thought about it. Like, it just sucks. Like, I wish that the timing, it wouldn't have had to go out that like AEW is really only wanting their guys to work with like their partners at this point.
Yeah.
So like, I really wish that wouldn't have come out, because it's almost like, well,
you probably know a little more about this than I do. So Mox just signed a new contract with AEW, correct? So is that maybe the reason why he's dropping the title, so he could?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tony Khan and them basically came straight out and said that they really only are going to want their guys to work with their partners. So that means like New Japan. That means like, they work a little bit with Defy. Things like that. So much less. Here's another thing to think about. Nick Gage just beat the AEW World Champion.
Yeah. With a little help, of course.
Doesn't matter. A win's a win.
A win is a win.
That we're talking about pro wrestling right now. They don't give a fuck. You got pinned. He's got the belt. You don't got the belt.
Now, do you think that MJF comes around and says anything about him sending those guys to GCW?
Oh, they gotta address it. I mean, especially since they revealed that it was Stokely Hathaway and fucking Cass, you have to. I mean, otherwise, why the hell else did you bring him out there?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
Storytelling, I
other
love
reason
it.
to bring. Again, I say this all the time. Stories are what makes wrestling great. Yeah, that you had that. You had the return of Leo Rush. Leo Rush gets a dub on both nights of GCW Fight Club. I'm looking forward to seeing that. You know, GCW is coming back to Harpo's in this motherfucker on the 23rd, and Birdie tells me that Uncle Chase will be in Harpo's, so we will probably be in the building for GCW. Again, shout out to Joe, the Party Penafiel. Appreciate the time. It was a good time. November 12th, Hype Athletics Center, lights out, bang, bang. Shout out Bulletproof Troop. With that being said, I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to fight night.
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all got anything else for the fine people? I'm not sure if we're gonna have a show on Thursday yet, so all the more reason you got to hit that subscribe button so you can know what's coming. Because
if
one little snippet before we get out of here, I just want to note this: that clip for Bray Wyatt's return, as of tonight, it's been up for 48 hours on WWE's YouTube, 2.8 million views. And just
they said, I saw a stat that said a combined number of like over 7,700,000 people.
That's including their Twitter, Instagram, and TikToks.
Yeah,
that's an incredible number, dude.
But nobody cares about WWE, right?
Exactly. We care about Triple H and WWE, damn it.
If we are closing and not having a Thursday episode, one thing I did kind of plan on bringing up Thursday was the return of Deontay Wilder this weekend. I wanted to know, have you been keeping up on this at all, and what's your thoughts?
I mean, I've been looking at it. I like the fact that Caleb Plant's on that card as well.
Me too.
Hellenius is a big dude. I mean, anybody can get knocked out at heavyweight, but I mean, honestly, I just kind of think this is a fight to see if Deontay Wilder can do what he's supposed to do. I think Deontay Wilder's supposed to knock him out, but if he doesn't, you know, I feel like it's going to be a real big problem for Deontay Wilder. I mean, I don't think his chin's gone by any means, but I would say that he's got to win this fight in spectacular fashion.
No, he definitely took a substantial time off between the last loss with the Fury fight. I think he definitely allowed, you know, enough time. If there was any questions about his chin, I think that should be resolved with the time that was, you know, taken in between. But that being said, I like his new approach. I like the fact that he's, you know, kind of cross training all over the place. I had mentioned on the show in the past the UFC PI thing. I know I'll be paying attention, and we'll see if the Bronze Bombers able to get it done come this weekend. So
I don't know, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we see from the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. Bomb Squad! But with that being said, ring the bell. Hell yeah, that means it's time to get the fuck out of here. Shout out again to our sponsors, Michigan's Finest. Check them out, mi-finest.com. Use the code KO3MF. Get you 10% off of all your shit. Now, that does exclude featured items and items that are already on price, but make sure you go do all that. Check out the homies at G3 Payroll, Tax, and Accounting. Tell them we sent you. And like I said, you might want to stay tuned and hit that subscribe button because I don't know. I heard somebody who's fighting in the UFC next weekend might be on here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Peace.